Welcome everybody to Kenn's Questions. Hope y'all having a good evening. Guaranteed I am because I'm here. Y'all saw somebody just went by. I did too. But of course, that's because we're coming to you live from downtown Riviera Beach in Boulevard Subs. So of course, we always thank the owner and proprietor of this location, Mr. Shed Lang. You know, he always opens the doors up. He makes sure that I'm nice and comfortable. He let me move all these tables and chairs around and basically do what the hell I want to. And it's fun. So, of course, I'm not by myself. I have a beautiful young lady right across the table from me, and I would love her to introduce herself to my audience.
Hello, everyone. My name is LaShon Miller-Sheely. How are you tonight? How you doing, Kenn?
Gave me all the names. All of them. I was just going to say Sean. But man,
Yeah, Sean.
Got them all.
Well, we family.
We are. We
So,
absolutely are.
Red. It's fine.
Yes. Nah, I can't never do Red.
Oh,
I can only do Sean.
you can only do Sean. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why.
You always look a little weird when my family comes up. Red.
Yeah. Like, who is that? Now, of course, y'all have both noticed that we are sporting hits, cuts, and bruises. Well, you can't see mine behind the microphone, but this merch, of course, is available at tenantry.com/HCB. And, of course, will Kenn's Questions merchandise come along? I don't know. Somebody asked me that.
It's coming.
I don't know. It's kind of weird.
It's not weird.
I have to think hard about it.
It's not weird.
You
I've
know.
already designed it.
Oh, well, in that case, I guess it's coming, y'all.
It's coming. It's coming.
Exclusive. You found out today, same time I did. But tonight's time, you know what? Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. So I got to shout out my podcast mates, of course, Tori Washington, DJ Timo, as well as El Spanko, Mr. Cuts of Hits, Cuts, and Bruises. Hello, guys. Y'all make sure y'all follow them on all their socials as well as me as well. So y'all know how I get down. It's always a controversial topic. Well, tonight is a controversial topic.
Yes.
I will say that. And, you know, I'll shy away from nothing. I say it every single time. There isn't a single topic that I will not talk about. I don't care what it is. And, of course, so just to give some background to this topic, I made a video back in 2018 that was talking about why men cheat. Now, this is a very generic, general, non-specific conversation that I had with my audience, and I hope I gave some good gems out there. Because we fragile, y'all. We fragile. We're real fragile. But not necessarily this is an answer to that, because we're talking about once again generic situations. But what's the title of this episode tonight?
The title of this episode is Surviving Infidelity.
And that's very, this is something that's very common. A lot of people don't like to talk about it because there's embarrassment that comes along with it. There's also humility, because when it goes down, you feel it's a personal attack,
Exactly.
But with this, once again, we hope to drop some gems, help some people out there.
Save some marriages.
You got that right. Because
Shout out to Black Love.
Please give me all of it, y'all. Help us, please help us. So now with that, some of the reasons, and this is just me giving a little background to why I made that video initially. I just felt that there was a lot of men that wasn't being heard, and I wanted to lend a voice because I was married for 20 years, so I wasn't coming from a place where I didn't know, and that's why I always have to preface this with the fact that everybody's situation is different. Everybody's situation is based on their better half, and you always got to consider the other person a better half, no matter what the circumstances ended up being. And then you're going to have some people like, well, motherfucker, you divorced. How can you sit there, give any type of advice? on anything.
Anyone can
You
give
know,
advice,
of course.
regardless if you're divorced or not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you learned. That was a
Yeah,
lived experience.
absolutely.
So you've learned and you know how to apply certain things
Yes.
in your new relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we can all learn from this. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. It was a gut punch. I was like, no, this nigga did.
To me,
Oh.
ain't this about some shit?
Mm.
Uh, but this goes down
That's
to
right.
also letting people know that nothing's perfect,
Nothing. Nothing is
and
perfect.
when that happens,
Hmm.
it comes with a level of perfection that you thought you had, because unfortunately we strive for perfection. So not all. I'm saying I'm speaking in generics,
Okay.
because it goes down to the way we're taught. You're
Right.
taught to be the best. You're taught to be number one.
That's
You're taught to
true.
get straight A's. You taught,
That's
I'm
true.
gonna get this raise at my job. All these things happen. Why wouldn't you strive for the same thing at home?
You're right. But in that,
Yes.
that's where a lot of women we mess up.
Mm-hmm.
I will speak for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I made straight A's. I always wanted the best. I pushed my kids because I wanted them to do. I want them to be better than me. I want them to have more than me, and I want them to live I want them to have a better quality of life than I have.
You ain't want them to have a life of leisure.
I want my kids to be able to live good, but I want them to work for it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't want spoiled kids running out and not, because we have to understand. We have to start looking at our partner's childhood.
Yeah.
We have to look at our partner's parents.
Yeah.
Sometimes they say, "Oh man, you need to vet that nigga." No, you need to vet his mama. You vet his mama,
Yeah. You gonna get it all.
you gonna know
Yeah.
what it is.
Yes.
And that's where we mess up. We don't vet the moms. We don't vet their fathers.
Mm-hmm.
We just see, oh, I love him.
Yeah.
But we don't know what baggage he's bringing into a relationship. And they always say opposites attract,
Of course.
to where I am from I ain't gonna say that. I'm from a well-to-do family.
Yes.
Like my mama.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
And then I have someone that really had to raise themselves.
Right.
So it's different. I grew up on love.
Mm-hmm.
He grew up on survival.
Yeah.
It's different. But I wouldn't have known because I always tried to compensate.
Mm-hmm.
I always tried to say, okay, you do this and I'm going to do this and this is how we're going to get here. I never gave him an opportunity to be my husband.
Ooh.
Because I was my husband and his husband.
God damn. Okay.
So, and that's the truth in the matter.
Yeah.
Because I knew what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I knew where I wanted to go. I did not push him. Our grandmamas, they had boundaries.
Yeah.
My grandma worked, but she didn't spend her money in that house. Her responsibility was to dress her children nice,
Mm-hmm.
take her family on family vacations, and have money set aside for rainy days. She was not in there paying bills.
But that was not her job.
That was not her job because she had a husband.
Do you think by us getting away from those traditional gender roles, because it's gone,
It's gone.
it's gone. It's
It's gone.
To me, it's a combination of fuck that shit. I don't need a man.
Mm-hmm.
To the advancement of women in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
Now, especially black women making more money than black men.
Because we are the number one educated people on that walk this planet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that is, when it comes down to expectations,
Mm-hmm.
do you think it becomes a hindrance?
I do. The reason why I say that is because we, as black women, well, I'm going to speak for myself as
Of
a
course.
black woman.
Yes.
I wanted to help my spouse.
Mm-hmm.
I saw things, like I saw his potential.
Right.
So I would do things to help him to achieve his potential. And on the outside, it looked like, oh man, he got it going on over there. You know, they got this, they got that. I mean, he got it
Right.
because I always made it seem like he had it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
instead of we got it or I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we just spoke about being humble.
Yes.
You can only you can be so humble that it will mess you up.
Yeah.
I allowed him to have so much. He was so relaxed
Mm-hmm.
to where I was running around here. I'm working and I'm hustling. I'm doing my business. I'm helping kids through school. You know, I'm doing all of these things, and I'm making it to where he, you know, could go to barber school. He could, you know, help his mom when she was sick.
Mm-hmm.
He could do a lot of things because I was like, you know what, I got his back. You
Right.
know, you know, help him. But at the same time, I was just hindering him because there was no expectations. There was no expectation. So now he want to be my husband.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't had no choice because I'm not.
Mm.
I'm not his husband, and I'm not going out of my way. I come first.
Yeah.
Whatever I need is first. Whatever my children need is first, and whatever is left is going into a rainy day fund.
You come on through. Come on through.
That's
It's
what.
okay.
That's
we in a
what.
public space.
That's where I am with that.
Right.
You know, because now he's like, man, that's just I want him. If you
Yeah.
want me, you got to be like my granddad. You got to take care of me. You got to make sure that I'm okay. And
Yeah.
honestly, I feel so much better. Like I'm not stressed anymore. I'm not worried about having to make sure everything runs smooth
Mm-hmm.
and make sure everybody is happy. That's not my responsibility anymore. That has never been my responsibility. That was his responsibility.
Right. We have a question from the audience.
Okay.
Wait. You know the drill. This is, of course, Shed, and he ain't going to be on camera, but he going to ask right quick. Y'all know how it go.
Y'all know how this go. So, you know, I'm old school, and growing up, it was always the notion that behind every successful man, there was a strong black woman, or a strong woman.
Right.
Now, what you described, you seem like you felt that you were the husband role for being that strong black woman. So can you elaborate a little bit on that? Because
Yes.
when we see a lot of successful black men, most of the time you can show me there was a strong black woman behind them, like the Michelle Obama effect.
Mm-hmm.
But you describe it as feeling like you was his husband. So if you
Correct.
can elaborate a little bit on that.
So when I say that I was his husband, I would, you know, if he said, hey, you know, I got to look out for so and so, I have to, you know, make sure that this particular thing is, you know, okay.
Right.
Instead of me saying, you have a responsibility to this house. I would be, you know, to keep peace. Or I'm not even going to say to keep peace because he wasn't like around there raising hell and nothing like that.
Right.
But because I just wanted everything to run smooth,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, don't worry about it. I got it. And that was me being his husband. Like I don't feel like that I could go to him and say, hey, I need you to do this, this, and this for me so I can go over here and I can take care of this.
Right.
You know, I don't feel like he had the emotional capacity, nor was he financially able to do those things for me. And when everything happened and it transpired, once you start looking at accounts and once you start looking at certain things, he definitely could have. But because I made it easy, because I was always his comforter, his stability, I was his husband. You know, I was taking on the role that he should have been taking on from me. I shouldn't have had to worry. Like, I used to sit up and worry. Like, if I don't save this money, he may need something or something may happen and he can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I won't have the money. You know, that used to bother me and it used to worry me to the point where I was always working. When I first started my business, I was working, 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 working. And that's because I was always trying to make sure when rain came, things could get done.
Right.
That was not my responsibility. And as a woman, I did not get married to be independent. I got married to be dependent.
Yes.
If I wanted to be single and be independent, I would be in my own. I would not to throw jabs, but I can afford me.
Yes.
I could afford my children.
Yes.
I can afford the house that I live in now.
Mm-hmm.
I can afford this. I am a helpmate, not a doer.
Mm.
I'm not supposed to be around here trying to make sure he's comfortable and then I'm struggling
Right.
mentally, emotionally. That's not my responsibility. That's not it. I was designed to be his comforter, and meaning I am to make sure he has a home,
Mm-hmm.
keep his home, peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't do that because I was always out there working. I was always hustling. Yeah, he worked. He has his own hustle. But that hustle did not benefit me. My hustle and my income always benefited us.
Okay.
I'm not your husband.
Mm.
And that's what a lot of women that are in a financial situation where they are able
Right.
to take care and to do things, we want to make our spouses feel like it's okay. And it's not okay because I'm not his mama. I wasn't built to make him feel like it's all right. No, I have a 28-year-old son. I don't do that with my son. And I have to take responsibility for that. And I learned that in counseling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a white woman
Yeah.
told me in counseling, like, what? Wait a minute. No, ma'am. And that's when I started realizing everything that I wasn't helping him. I was making him comfortable. I was making him more accessible. I was also, he was around here. They were like, oh, you got it.
Yeah.
Giving him the big head. They thought that, when things went down, like I told him, she should have been trying to date me. You see what I'm saying? Because I made it to I made it to where he was able to help the people he wanted to help.
Right.
I supported him to the fact where anything he wanted to do, I supported it. I made sure that he had the resources to do it. Like, he knew I was going to help him.
Mm-hmm.
But now he like, nah, I got to make sure. I got to, and to his credit, once, she brought it to my attention,
Mm-hmm.
and I told him, because I said, we got a divorce. We can't stay together. I didn't sign up for this.
Mm-hmm.
And I also said to myself, Red, you got to get out of this. You going to jail. And then that little voice say, no, bitch, you going to prison.
Damn.
You got to move. But then I heard my grandma say, move. It's your damn house. Where you moving? Where you going? And I did. I brought my divorce papers home.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to my attorney, and I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna go into all of that.
Right.
But baby, when they say it's cheaper to keep you,
Yeah.
it's cheaper to keep you.
Yeah.
Because when I was told I would have to do certain things,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
I'll burn this house down before
Yeah.
I sell my house and get him half.
Yeah.
That stuff started coming into my mind.
That's the reality. Yes.
It started coming into my mind. Honestly, did. But with him, I will say this. He was like, no, no, no. But like I explained to him, if you want to stay married to me, these are things you're going to have to you're going to have to be the husband.
Mm.
You're going to actually have to be the head of this house. I made all of the decisions. He made no decisions. I would say, hey, how do you want to do this? Whatever you want to do.
So it sounds like he led the life of leisure.
He did.
Okay.
He did. He didn't have any worries at all.
Mm.
You know it.
Yeah, but you know, the we all present in different forms. So the version that I know is
Mm-hmm.
completely from the version that completely different from the version you know, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think, especially, we feel as men that the whole world is against us, and we like you say, you like to come home and then you present peace,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what happened outside, regardless of social norms, whatever happened. When you get home, you want to kick up, relax, and enjoy your 8 hours or whatever that you got of
Mm-hmm.
family time.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
But it just sounds like uh, before you got to the point, well, not that it's too late, um, because we all have our dynamics, and you're both responsible for those dynamics.
That's right.
So you were able to wake up to your situation. It's not too late, because
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's you had to sink or swim.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right now you backstroking that motherfucker. That's what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you got to that situation, what was I know you said you looked over documents and all that good stuff, but what was that? Like we're talking about gut punch. You know what I'm saying?
The gut punch was I she texted me.
Okay.
She texted me. And well, she texted me several times.
Mm-hmm.
But the last one was when she texted, she said, "Oh, you should just let him buy you out and you should just go on about your business." Like she was talking to me like I wouldn't come up there like I'm nice, but I'm not soft. like she like, girl, you you want to really see me, don't you? And then that's what was the gut punch to me because he was like, I want to switch up. He wanted to leave the county, and I mean leave the city. And he wanted to go to the county.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I could take this amount of money out, and then we could do this, we could do that. And I was saying to myself, now he's talking about taking money out. I know this. I know he can't buy me out of nothing, But it wasn't that.
Right.
It was just him, I have to say this. He had to have been, telling her his plan for her to even send me something like that to even, put into words because she had a husband of her own.
Right.
And she was trying to leave a job, but when you leave a job, you have to have a job.
I hope so.
But you would think the type where she worked, she would be able to look up certain things. So that pissed me off because I'm like, you trying to date this slow, dizzy Dora. She don't even know. She ain't even looking at the mortgage. She ain't looking at them. Baby, that's my stuff.
Mm.
But that was the gut punch for me. It was he gonna buy you out. You just need to go on about your business. He can't buy me out of nothing.
So she had elephant balls. That's what you trying to tell
Let
me.
me tell you, she did until she realized that I would come and tap, tap, tap that. And when I called her I texted her back her name.
Right.
And I said, you text me one more time.
Mm.
But see, I would have never, the first time she texted me, I gave him an opportunity. I said, hey, I don't know what you got going on, but I suggest that you dead it because it's not going to end well for you.
Mm.
And again, men, what you talking about? Oh my God, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I didn't want to go into all of that. But I gave him an opportunity to get himself together because it is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it was an easy decision for me to go see a divorce attorney. It wasn't. But it got to the point where I said, I have to.
You got to know your options.
I had to weigh my option.
Yeah.
I needed to know where I stood and what, I really wanted to just say, to be honest, if it would have been just straight down the middle divorce, he just leave and, I would have let him take one of the vehicles and just go on about his business.
Right.
I would be divorced. But when it started about talking about my money and, my house and things like that, when I say my house, it's my house because I worked very hard for that house. That man wouldn't be a homeowner if it wasn't for me pushing him to become a homeowner.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that was purchased in the marriage, it was for me.
Right.
So you should just give it to me and go. That what my daddy did.
I
You see what I'm saying?
I made a quote a couple episodes ago, and I said, if you ever want to find out if a marriage is a business, get divorced.
Oh, it's a whole
You're
business.
going to find out real quick and fast how much of a business a marriage is.
Yes, sir.
And we like to then, that's the opinion. Like, you ain't put on a prenup. If I got it like that, you signing all these documents before we do anything. Because one, I'm probably meeting your representative before we go down that aisle and jump the broom or whatever the hell it is. I'm getting the representative before you have my kids or whatever the situation is. I'm not getting the true you because we haven't been in those situations.
And that is so true. I will say this. I didn't always have I wasn't always financially stable. Okay? Again, I worked very hard to become financially stable. I worked, when I say hard, because my husband and I, before we got married, we were young, we had kids young. We broke up. We were broke up for like 5-6 years.
Dang.
He was never supposed to be my husband. Okay, but we always co-parented very well. Never had issue. Now, one thing, he's a good father. We always co-parented. Like that was our main thing. Like we wanted our kids to have, and we wanted them to see their parents communicate. We wanted them to see that they couldn't get over on me and they couldn't get over on him. Like we was a team.
Right.
When it came down to our kids. We were always friends. And that's another thing. You have to be friends with your mate. I don't care what it is. Friendship will save anything.
Yeah.
Okay? You have to know in your heart that this is your friend. This is somebody that, yes, can make a mistake. But this is my dog.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to be friends with him or with her. When all of this happened, I told him, I said, I don't give a damn about this marriage. I really didn't. But you done messed up our friendship. And I think that's what kind of hit him because, bro, if we divorce, no, I didn't say if. I said when we divorce, you won't have access to me. Our children are grown. There's no need for you to call me. I'm not helping you do a damn thing. I'm not your friend. I didn't care. I told him he could be on the ground dead. They can call me. I said, I am divorced. Call his mama. And that was the first time I've ever said it to him.
Yeah.
And he was looking like, wait, what?
Yeah.
See, he would have probably went through with the divorce. But when I told him, oh no, he ain't gonna be no calling me. I won't be helping you. We ain't talking about nothing. It's nothing. It is a wrap.
The friendship.
The friendship has been fractured. And if you've ever been friends with someone, like someone you was really close to and you have to end that friendship, that is hard.
Yeah, it's real hard.
That is hard. And you say to yourself, like, dang, like, I miss my friend. I have a friend, and our friendship didn't end because we fell out. She passed away.
Damn.
And sometimes I'm like, dang, if Renata was here, I miss her every day. Wow. And during this time when I was going through it with Spank, I realized that I have a tribe. They had my back. Yeah. They was like, however you want to roll. They was even like, well, we meeting up. We all blacking. What we doing?
We finna roll up on this ball.
we finna whoop him, whoop her. We finna tell the whole city. The city is going up. But then there were people that, he and I thought that they were our friends. I realized they were his friends.
Yeah.
And at first it bothered me, but
Mm-hmm.
then I was like, child, whatever.
Right.
But that's what it was. It
Because
was
your outside friends and family feel they should pick a side. They don't feel like they could just be neutral and be like, I'm cool with you the same way I was before you got divorced, and it's gonna stay the same. And what people don't realize, that's when they, like I gave you the example of me and my ex. I will always have love for my ex, but I'm not in love with my ex. So, I always get the example of the Usher song, Good Good. It's like, hey, that's exactly what it is. We ain't gonna be together, but we real good friends. And it's not for me to explain to somebody else that don't understand why
Correct.
we still got a good relationship.
and that's good.
Right. It's like the same thing, like you said, you got kids. If my son is, at a point where he wants to court and he wants to see how to treat a woman, and his daddy did his mama any kind of way, which I didn't, he's going to repeat that.
Exactly.
And there is
Exactly.
no way I could subject that young lady to that type of behavior.
Exactly. That's the reason why I said that we need to start vetting the parents.
Yeah.
Because in my situation, my husband saw his mama. She was with married men. It is
Yeah.
what it is. I'm saying this on this podcast because it's the truth,
Yeah.
and that's what he saw.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Dang!" He knew it was wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but again, those are learned behaviors.
Yeah.
As long as he was able to sneak,
Mm-hmm.
he was cool. But he also didn't realize that this particular person wanted more from him. See, she thought she was getting somebody that was stable.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say stable, I mean emotionally
Of course.
stable. She thought that he was, financially stable. She also thought that, okay, I got somebody that I'm able to build myself back up with.
That's right. Because married men are attractive. Same way politicians are, pastors are, all these people that have some sort of, plus they don't need to be bothered. This motherfucker married, he got a wife, kids, all that shit. He not gonna bother me. Like, he gonna give me what I want when I want it. He gonna pay my bills. He gonna get my nails done. He gonna do my hair. All this stuff comes a part of that package until they all of a sudden they get in like, wait a second, what you mean you ain't got? You can't. Damn, I don't fucked up. I don't pick the wrong one. But those are things that it's all a part of growth.
It is.
Because once you made that statement and you told him you have zero access to me, he grew probably about 10 years.
He did. He did. Because there were boundaries that I set, and a lot of people say, well, Red, you shouldn't be. That's harsh. No, it's not harsh. It's not harsh. Because honestly, if he was raised properly, not saying, because we all know that men develop slower than women. We are more mature
Yeah.
than you guys. But if he was raised, I'm going to say this, if he saw decency, he would have been decent.
Right.
You know what I mean? He would have come to me and say, hey, this girl, she keeps showing up at the barbershop. She making me feel a little certain type of way. And then, you always working, you doing this, you doing that. I would have been like, nigga, I'm working because I got to make sure we straight.
Right.
Now, if you can make sure we straight, I could be home. These are hard conversations.
Of course.
Because a lot of men, especially black men, they feel like, well, dang, you make the money. And then you hear this topic of 50-50.
Right.
Man, 50-50. 50-50? Really? Okay, if you want me to do 50-50 with you,
Right.
when you come home, are you going to help me take care of these kids?
Yeah.
Are we going to take turns cooking? Are we going to take turns? See, a woman's job, it never stops. We go to work. We work 8 hours. We get off work. We have to go pick the kids up. Now, most men are off before women. Okay? Then that's the truth. It's the truth. Most men, especially if your spouse works for like a utility company or FP&L, something like that, they get off like 2 o'clock. Why can't you pick those kids up? so I can come straight home. Why can't you, if you don't want to cook, why can't you already have the meat or something seasoned and have the stove, turn the oven on? Something, help me out.
Right.
Why aren't those kids already sitting to the table doing their homework? That's if you want to do 50-50. If you want me to help you pay these bills, I need you to help me raise these kids. Why can't you fold clothes? If I wash them and you come home, put them in the dryer, you fold them. I'll put them away. We talking 50-50, right?
I couldn't put them.
But you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
just go ahead. Yeah.
And that's what a lot of men don't understand. And then you hear them saying, I'm still the man of this house. You need to act like the man of this house. Because the men that I know that was the man in the house, they paid all of the household bills. Our money was to take care of the kids,
Right.
put groceries in the house, and take the family on vacation and have the rainy day fund. Because we were built to be your help mate, not your 50-50.
Right.
Not, oh, I got to put up with his mom and them. No. No. I got to put up with your mama, your sisters. And let's talk about these men. Most of the time, men that are, that cheat, not all men.
Yeah.
Because some men come from good families, they just not right. But most men that cheat, they come from a line of women that don't have husbands. They keep a man that's broke. Or they are with someone else's husband. It's always drama. They always messing with the men's wives or girlfriends. They always have their hand out. They need something.
Right.
These are the things we as women, we need to be vetting. If I would have been paying attention, ain't no way Spank would be my husband. Ain't no way we would have kids. I should have been paying attention. And even when my mama tried to tell me,
Yeah.
I was like, mama, don't say that. My mama said, man, I'm telling you. And my mama said that to me. My mama said, you need to look at the caliber of women he come from. And that right there was kind of like crazy to me. But now that I'm older,
You see it.
I see it. So I'm on my son like white on rice. Don't be out here wasting these little girls' time.
Right.
I raised you to be the man. You can't live anywhere where you can't pay the bills.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be trying to move somewhere and go 50-50 with nobody, because if she decides she want to leave and go home, you
out of
still have to
gas.
pay the bills.
Yeah, you got to gas.
Wherever you live, you need to make sure that you can pay those bills. If you want to move in with somebody, y'all have to sit down and have hard conversations. You have to come up with a plan. You have to be able to stick to the plan. You will know whether or not a woman is willing to be there with you and to help your union get to where it needs to be. But a woman that has raised by a father and a mother, and her father has taught her that it is his responsibility to take care of her mama and to take care of those kids. Oh, these young girls, they not having it. They're like, no, I got a daddy. And majority of the young women now, they do not come from broken homes.
No.
They have their
It's rare.
mama and their father. A lot of these little girls, like my daughter. My daughter comes from a two-parent household. And she used to always tell people, I don't have to take this. Ken, you know my daughter. Lavish will tell you quick. I'm going home.
Okay.
I don't have to be bothered with this.
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. And that's what we have to do.
Oh, man.
But I just feel like a lot of men, men have so much childhood trauma.
Yeah, we do.
You're not allowed to cry.
No.
You're not allowed to voice how you feel. You're not allowed to say, this is what's going on. Sometimes I teach my son to be a truth teller. If it's not working, you tell him it's not working. You let them know, I can't do this with you, and this is the reason why.
And you go about your business
And
let
you
them
go
go
on
about their
your
business.
business.
I made a deal with my ex. I said, hey, man, before I take my dick and I stick it in somebody, I'm going to call you. I'm going to let you know this ain't it. I'm out. Because I've gotten to that point where, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do me.
That's it.
instead of doing the family and doing us. And I tell you about, like, I wasn't perfect in my marriage, and but it was still one of those situations that I respected her.
Exactly.
I
That's where it
respected
goes.
her,
It's about respect.
Yeah.
Like with Spain. If he would have just came and said, look, Shorty over here, she just doing this, she doing that, I would have said, well, okay, if that's what you want to do,
Yeah.
that's fine. However, there ain't no coming back.
Yeah.
There's no coming back. Or, you working and you doing this, you doing that. I would have said, yeah, I have to. Now, if you want me to be home, these are things you don't have to do.
Gotta do it. Yeah.
But the communication, it would have been respect. Respect is due to a dog.
Yeah.
You have to be respectful. But I will say, he must have been getting cold feet.
Mm-hmm.
He must have been trying to, kill the communication. I don't know exactly what transpired, but when people want you or they get upset because they felt like I done wasted my time, or I'm gonna tell your wife. Now, I'm not gonna be, you use me pretty much. Oh, I'm gonna tell your wife, you're not gonna be happy. If I'm not happy, you're not gonna be happy. And that right there, to me, I was like, that's crazy. I would be too embarrassed to tell somebody that I had been messing around with their husband and sending all of this stuff, playing games, especially if I had a husband.
Mm.
That's another thing. You never know what people are going through. You don't know who you messing with.
Mm-hmm.
And when it all transpired, I'm not going to tell you that I was a saint in it and I took the higher road. No.
What? You?
Man.
Never.
I sent her husband all that stuff. I told him, I said, you better be on the lookout. that man roll up on you, bro.
Hey.
This is what you wanted.
Right.
But you don't know. She don't know if I would have snapped and killed him and came and killed her.
Right.
You don't know. But how I survived, one, I did counseling with him, but I also did counseling myself.
Yes.
And I had to realize, here I am all this time, I was operating as his husband.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was helping. I wasn't. That's just like with a child. If you continuously run to your child's aid, stand in the paint for your child is never going to learn.
No.
They're going to always have an excuse, and you're going to always be there trying to protect them and make sure that they're okay. But really, you are not. You're hindering them. You're setting them back. You're not giving them the opportunity to show you that they can take care of themselves, that they can take care, if something happens to you, that they can take care of the things that you leave behind.
Mm-hmm.
None of that. I was not giving him the opportunity. And honestly, I felt bad for him because I knew certain parts of his story.
Right.
That was not my responsibility to feel bad for him. My responsibility was to push him into his greatness. That was my responsibility. My responsibility was to say, I'm sorry, but you know what you signed up for when you married me.
Yeah.
This is what I need. This is what you're going to have to do. You want me to come home? You want me to,
Was that conversation too late?
You know what? I won't say that it was too late.
But it was overdue.
But it was overdue.
Uh-huh.
And when we did have it, I could tell that he was lost.
Okay.
Like, I could see in his eyes, like, dang. Like, he honestly looked like, and I could see the embarrassment.
Yeah.
I could see the hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen him, when his father passed away. Shout out, God bless the dead, Mr. Larry. Now, Mr. Larry, I love my father-in-law. I love Mr. Larry. I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. And it wasn't until I saw that I said, you know what? I'm going to give him an opportunity to be my husband. I'm going to give him, and I told him, I said, I'm going to give you an opportunity to be my husband. These are the things that my husband will do for me. Kenn, I sleep good every night. No, I'm serious.
Like a baby.
I haven't slept the I will say the 3 years. It took me 3 years to get over it. And when I say 3 years, I don't want people to think, "Oh my God, it took 3 years." It was certain, it was certain phases.
Right.
You grow out of one phase and then you go to another phase. I had to condition myself to trust him enough.
Exactly.
And when I say trust him, I don't mean as far as another woman and whatnot. I meant financially trust him. I had to condition myself to not, take all of the bills and say, okay, I'm going to do this, and then he can just give me the money. No.
Here go the bills. Get to it.
These are the logins. This is what needs to be done.
Wow.
It took me, I've never been financially scared. So I had to say, no, Sean, don't pay that. No, Red, I don't care. And I also told him nothing can be late.
Yeah.
Because when I was doing it, nothing was late.
Right.
You can't pay my mortgage late. My lights, you can't pay. And I want FP&L to get all their money. Don't.
I can't put 50 on it.
Hell no.
Come on.
FP&L will turn you
give
on.
me 50. I can't do 50 on it.
So that was a phase. Then there was a phase of me just allowing him to date me.
Okay.
Because I was like, I don't want to be out in the public and stuff. Like, no. But, again, counseling.
Yeah.
So I had to allow him to date me. I had to allow him to pay for me. I had to allow him to be the man that if I would have divorced him, that's what the man would have.
Of course.
Would have had to do. So I had to. It took a lot. It took a lot. And when I say that I would cry, I would cry. Most people say, "Oh my God," I would cry every morning in the shower. 7:15, I get in the shower, and I would cry. And I wasn't crying because of what he did. I was crying because what I allowed to happen.
Yeah.
I was like, girl, you've been so stupid. If my grandma was alive, she probably would punch me in the face. But I cried because I was like, I've allowed this. It was just crazy to me when you go back and you look. And then this is the third year that we're in. I woke up one morning and I said, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be happy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to go behind him to see if he paid these bills because I was doing that.
Yeah.
That's not my response. If I got to go behind you,
you might as well do it.
I might as well do it. So I stopped doing that.
Yeah.
I said, if something didn't pay, I'm going to get a late notice.
That's it.
Then we're going to address it. I can honestly say, nothing been late.
That's what I'm talking about.
Nothing's been late.
That's my dog.
And I've allowed him to date me. I've allowed him to do everything that I want a man to do for me. I wake up now, I'm like, okay, I'm cool. I told him, I said, we were supposed to get, our bathroom redone and whatnot. I was like, oh, all this didn't happen. No, I put my foot on the gas.
Let's go.
You need to do this.
Let's go. Yeah.
This is what I want.
Yeah.
It was done. It was no like, oh, well, it's none of that. I can honestly say that if it's not about 449, we don't talk about it. Everything is about what we have going on. Our kids, same thing. You have to make sure. I always was falling out with the kids because I'm the heavy.
Of course. They don't want to ask you.
No. Because I'm like, what happened?
I need A, B, C, D.
Why you don't have it?
Yeah.
Oh, you think you can go spend your money, then I'm supposed to pay your bills? So I was always the heavy.
Yeah.
Now it's more like you need to take responsibility. Why I always have to be the one to say or to reprimand them or to be like, we can't be doing this for you. Like, one thing I will say, when all of this went down, my son, he had my back on it. Now, he was like, Mama, whatever you want to do. Like, my son was like, man, now me and you be having our issues,
Right.
but
You
But-
stood up.
you want me to come you want me to put him out of there? Like, my son had my back. And, and I know it hurt him because he had to sit down and he had to tell them.
Yeah.
Now, that's another thing, too. I saw the hurt in his face. He was very hurt telling them because that wasn't my responsibility to tell them,
Yeah.
But when all of this went down, I started looking at some of my son's traits. And I was like, oh, hell no. You not finna be out here. Ain't nobody gonna be talking, come get your dusty son. No. No. So I had got like real tough on my son. I was like, it was love, but it was tough.
Right.
But now I see such a difference in my son. I think everything that transpired between his father and I, it made him wake up. And then it also made him see my mama has been doing, like, God dang.
Yeah.
So it allowed him to show me a little grace. And that right there, out of everything, it kind of like, if anything, it made my son and I closer. We were already close in our own little way.
Yeah.
And everybody that knows me, they know, like, you mess with my son, I'm standing on business.
It's a wrap.
I'm going to prison.
Yeah.
About that one right there. My daughter, not so much. Not so much. And the reason why I say that is because my daughter is a carbon copy of me.
Right.
She not finna let you play with her.
Right.
I'm gonna have to come bail her out. She not playing with you.
Yeah.
She like her auntie Keisha. Okay. She ain't playing
It's going
with you.
down.
It's going down. You met my son.
Yes.
You met my daughter.
Yes. Yeah. Yin and yang.
So it just,
What-
was it hard? It was hard.
Now, of course, as somebody who's a fan of therapy, what have you enacted to ensure that this now new person that you're now married to continues on the same?
Well, what I do, we learn like a lot of different strategies in couples therapy.
Yeah.
So I will speak on the couples therapy first. We learned that, there's 5 love languages.
Of course.
However, those languages change.
Of course.
And if you feel like a certain language has changed, I or him, we would have to communicate that with each other. I don't read your mind. He can't read my mind. We have to communicate that, okay, this is not working for me anymore. I don't like that anymore. This is what I want to do. It's about communication. In my individual counseling, I've learned to let go. I've learned that my place is to be in the background, not up front, or not up front doing, then get behind.
Right.
Because, in counseling, it was like our parents used to always tell us, don't go out there and embarrass me. Because they were always in the forefront of us.
Right.
And that's the same thing within a marriage. Like, I have to stop, doing, and then he's standing in the front like it's him that's actually, leading us when I, in turn, was leading us, and I was out of order.
Yeah.
Totally out of order. Totally out of order. But again, I've learned. I don't. If there's something that needs to be done, or if I feel like, hey, we said we were going to do this, why is there a change of plan? Now sometimes things change.
Of course.
So I have to be, able to adapt.
Hmm.
And I have to say, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But if it's not making sense, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
And the problem is, you're going to do what you told me you were going to do. I don't want to hear anything else. I want it done because this is what you told me you were going to do. I need it to be done. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Immediately.
And not in, and I've learned how to communicate without saying, or even, I would say this. I'm speaking English. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I'm not yelling. I'm not aggressive with it.
Hmm.
It's a simple no. That's not what you said.
Yeah.
You said that this is what we were going to do, or this is what you were going to do, and I'm expecting for you to do it. And that is that.
Simple.
Simple. I'm not asking questions. Well, why can't you do it? Child, please. If it's an emergency, I'ma already know the emergency.
Right.
I'ma already know that we just can't do it at this time. But if it's not an emergency, I don't care about anything else. You gonna do what you said you gonna do. You gonna stand on business when it comes down to me.
Do y'all have it scheduled where you revisit these things?
Of course. We have what I call them monthly check-ins.
Yes.
So you have to, I ask, hey, how is everything going with you? How are you mentally? What's your emotions looking like? Because when I ask, what are your emotions looking like? I need to know, do you have any outside, like, people draining you?
Yeah.
Do you have people making you feel bad because you're unable to do the things that you used to do for them? Because I have to reinforce, well, I'm sorry, but we know you've had a major medical, he had a major medical incident.
Yeah.
It was just me, his kids, my mama, and two of his cousins. That was it. And you and Tori.
Yeah.
But other than that, you ain't seen anybody else.
Damn.
You did. Didn't call, didn't check in. They were in the streets talking. But not one time did they say, hey, do you need food over there?
Mm.
Hey, do you need me to help? Can I take you to therapy? What can I do?
Right.
Nobody. The only people that checked in that said, hey, do you need something? Again, it would be his cousin Bruises.
Yeah.
It would be two of his cousins, my mama, and my kids. And I take that back. And then his stepdad, he stepped in and he helped as well. But other than that, nobody else.
Damn.
The people that I named
Yeah.
are the people that said, what you need? How can I service? How can I help? What can I do? But you would hear, you had people calling, oh, I heard so-and-so in the barbershop talking about you did this or this happened. Not one time. Not one time. Did they come? Did they do? But they was talking.
Damn.
And
That's a tough lesson. That's a real tough lesson.
And I'm going to tell you something. Imagine if we would have been divorced. Imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine. Or imagine that we were separated and he was living on his own somewhere else.
He wouldn't be here.
He wouldn't be here. He wouldn't be here. You know the extent of what happened.
Of course.
So even through all of that, I was like, now look at this man. Now he want to be all get this, and I got the, and that's the human part of us.
Of course.
That's the human part of us. And my sister, my sister Keisha, she made sure that I was able to get him into the cardiologist, neurologist, like all of this stuff. She even told me, she was like, look, you were still legally married to this man. You better not leave that man at the house. She said, I see it in your face.
Yeah.
She said, but my sister know me.
Yeah.
She knows me. But I was like, I'm not gonna leave him up here. I don't want to fall out with my kids.
Of course.
Don't want to fall out with my kids because regardless, that's their daddy. Like you done let my dad up
No
here.
matter what.
Yeah, like nah. What's up with that? But again, nobody showed up. Nobody showed up. But the people that still show up, and that is the truth. So I don't say much.
Yeah.
I don't expect for people to,
Mm-hmm.
but I also have boundaries. I don't want certain people at my house.
Right.
I don't want you at my house. I'm not gonna come to your house. Don't you come to my house. It's boundaries,
And they set for a reason.
and they're set for a reason.
Mm-mm-mm. So, of course, I never say goodbye. It's always to be continued. But in closing for this episode, what is the best piece or the life lesson that you learned in this situation?
So, the life lesson that I learned was to forgive. To really forgive. Because when you forgive, it not only frees you, but it makes it easier for you to go whatever direction you want to go.
Yeah.
That's what I will tell you. I will tell you that marriage is work. Marriage is not for the weak. Marriage can have you up one year and down the next year. I've also learned that I am the helpmate. I am not the doer. That if you take nothing else away from this, and I'm speaking to the ladies, you are there to help, to motivate, to push, but you are not there to do. And it is okay to say, no, that's not my responsibility. And if that man wants you to be a part of his life, he will step up and he will do what needs to be done to have you as his helpmate. And that's just as simple as that. We do not get married to be independent. We get married to be dependent. We get married to, make sure that we elevate our men. But we should not sacrifice our health. We should not sacrifice our mental health. And we should not take on burdens that do not belong to us.
Don't drop my mic. Sean, I think this is gonna help a lot of people.
I hope so.
I appreciate you being
I hope
vulnerable.
so.
I appreciate you, allowing us into your world. This is not easy, but also this a conversation that needs to be had.
It is. And a lot of women we're like, oh man, he didn't embarrass me. He didn't embarrass me. He embarrassed himself.
Yeah.
And I will say this. When everybody found out, it was more like so many text messages and then like the inboxes and the DMs and whatnot. It was more like, if you need something, let me know. And I was like, man.
If you need some what?
Man, let me tell you something. It was so many. I had so many DMs like, I always wanted to talk to you and tell you. But if you need something, I'm willing to step up to the plate. Then you had different women. They was in my inbox. They was like, man, Red, if he gonna cheat on you, these niggas just niggering out here. They just don't care. But at the same time, I never was embarrassed.
Yeah.
And the reason why I wasn't embarrassed is because I had done nothing to be embarrassed about.
Right.
She should have been embarrassed and he should have been embarrassed.
Right.
I ain't got nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I also was like, dang, what in the world? You don't even know me. You saying, oh, if you need something. You don't know who I am.
Right.
You don't know if I'm around in that house, walking around with butcher knives, trying to stab people up. You don't know the dynamic of what's going on. You don't know me.
Right.
But at the same, now I did have some potentials. Now I ain't gonna lie, I vetted them, cause at that time I thought I was gonna be divorced, so I was vetting, but I never stepped out of line because before, like you said,
Yeah.
but for me, I would have had to be legally divorced,
Right.
And that's just that. I would have to be legally divorced before I enter into like something like a potential, like. No, that's just not me.
Right. And that's fair.
But that's what I learned. I hope that you guys take this. I hope that I've helped. I'm not embarrassed about it. If you want to DM me and you want to ask me, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
We had our moments. I tore my house up.
Yeah.
I put holes all in my wall.
Yeah.
Sway in the back.
Yeah.
It happened. It went down. But at the same time, I was able. I'm still on a journey.
Of course.
And the reason why
That
I
never
say I'm
ends.
still on the journey is because I don't want to revert back to who I was. Because it'll be easy for me to revert back to who I was to, just try to do everything and just make sure everything runs. That's not my responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm mindful in that myself. I'm not going to do that. I'm not reverting back. If you want to be my husband, you're going to be my husband. And
That's
I'm
right.
going to be your wife.
That's right.
That's just that.
Great example.
I'm trying.
Y'all saved it. Yes.
Listen, we trying. You've been at them hard
I
conversations.
don't been there. You're like, damn, I'm ready to go. This mother, yeah, damn, I'm ready to go. But I'm glad I stayed. Because it was, you have those scenarios where I was supposed to be there, and I was supposed to hear that because it ain't gonna do nothing but help me.
And there was no yelling.
No.
There was no cussing.
No, it was because it goes down to respect.
Mm-hmm.
You can still be respectful in a difficult situation.
That's right.
You can,
That's right.
So the moment that a voice get raised or anything like that, you're not listening.
Exactly. I need you to hear me
That's right.
because I need to hear you. I need to know.
Yeah. Let's have the discussion. It's a discussion. We're adults.
Very much so.
You know?
And it's not perfect. Like you said, nothing is perfect.
No.
There's not a marriage that is perfect. There is not a relationship. And that's why I try to tell my my son and my daughter, there's Instagram and like social media, really. It's not. It's a facade.
It is.
It's a facade. And I
Representatives
also learned,
on deck, boy.
That's it.
All of it. That's all. You ain't gonna see no bad shit. You ain't gonna see nothing. I got a funeral this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't coming. I was like, I'm Uncle Frank, and
Right.
that's not also what we want to hear.
Exactly.
You want to hear good things. You want to hear things that are enlightening, uplifting. But we had to have a real conversation.
We had to have a real conversation. And speaking of social media, I don't post him anymore on my social media. I don't post us anymore on the social media. I deleted all of our stuff actually off of the social media. And when I did that, it was more like, that wasn't where I was at the time.
Right.
But I also learned I'm not posting him. I'm posting me. I'll post, my kids, and I'll post my dog.
Yeah.
All three of them. I'll post them.
Yeah.
But I'm not posting us. Because whatever we have is supposed to be for us.
Exactly.
And that's just that.
Yeah. Even though we use social media.
Yeah, we use social media. We use social media.
We need it.
We do need it. We need it. And we need them to watch.
But we don't need all of it.
Correct. Some things need to be private.
Take a break.
Some things need to be
You
private.
ain't got that right. You ain't got to
Some
know all my
things.
shit. I got a lot.
No comment. I don't even want to look at the camera. No comment.
But thank you once again, everyone, for tuning in. Of course, comment, like, subscribe, share this out. I think this, like I said, this is going to help a lot of people. And once again, thanks for joining me tonight on Kenn's Questions. Y'all be easy.
Thank you. Good night.
Peace.